My name's Dave Neuman. I work for Koinonia Guide Service. I fish 200 days a year on the river. I guide about 60 days a year, okay? I guide because I enjoy spending time with people. So we've been a guide business for 15 plus years. We first started mostly with bass, and we found out people really like to catch catfish. And catfishing is less, it's not required to have tremendous fishing ability to fish for catfish. Anybody can go out and catch catfish with us. But what it does when you're starting to fish for catfish, it'll get you excited about fishing for other species of fish, and it'll develop your talents and your skills, and then pretty soon you graduate into fishing for bass. If I have to go fishing just for myself, I'm going to fish for bass and walleyes, which the bass fishing on the Susquehanna River is probably the best year-round bass fishery in the world. It is that good. And that's in part due to the regulations the Fish Commission's put in place that made it all catch and release fishing from the dam down below us, about 60 miles below us, Holtwood Dam, north to Sunbury. There's about 110 miles of river right now that's all catch and release bass fishing, and it is made for phenomenal bass fishing. It really has. That's the wind blowing the rod. You'll have to watch. All of a sudden it'll boom like this. And then you know it's a fish. Right. So I've been guiding for Koinonia myself since 2004. I got to know Rod through another fishing guide that I'd guided for a little bit. And this particular guide, Max, said, hey, he said, I want you to meet a good Christian brother of mine. So I went out to meet Rod and had breakfast with him. And the name of his guide service is Koinonia Guide Service. And it's crazy because my neighbors grew up with Rod and went to high school with Rod. And we were trying to figure out what the world is Koinonia Guide Service, okay? Because we were trying to figure it out if it was a mixture between his daughter's names and his dog's name, because we had no idea. And, you know, I'm thinking like, this is a guide business? What a stupid name for a guide. It should be like Big Bass or Lots of Catfish or Set the Hook, something like that. And so I had breakfast with Rod the next morning because he wanted to go up to Lake Erie to fish, and I spent a lot of time on Lake Erie fishing for bass. And I knew a lot of people up there, and he wanted to go up and fish, see if he can get a big smallmouth. So we sat down, had breakfast, and he started telling me. I said, so what is this Koinonia Guide Service? I can't even pronounce. He said it's from 1 John. He said it's Koinonia. It's Greek for fellowship. It's what the early church did. They had fellowship, okay? How can it get any better than spending time on God's creation out on the Susquehanna River, catching fish? It just doesn't get any better. I went from what a stupid name to that name is fantastic, because it just opens a lot of doors for people to understand that there's more to, as much as I like catching lots and lots of fish, there's a lot more to life than just catching lots of fish.